Caitlin Clark was back at practice.
Caitlin Clark had a huge leap in her possible return to the basketball court.
Caitlin Clark showing back up at practice.
Look at Caitlin Clark jumping like crazy. Caitlin, you have to sit down, man.
Just minutes ago, Caitlin Clark was seen back in full practice gear with the Indiana Fever.
Caitlin Clark in practice clothes right there.
Smiling, moving, and even joining her teammates on the court. Fans immediately lit up with excitement. But here's the catch. She's still injured.
Seeing her in practice clothes, people went, wait a minute now. Is she closer to a return than we think? And maybe she is, but I doubt it.
And the team says there's no official timeline for her return. So is this a sign she's close to coming back? Or is it just a morale boost while she continues to heal? If you stand with Caitlin Clark through all of it, drop a 100% in the comments right now.
Workout attire. Now, I don't know how much she participated, but she was there at practice as the Indiana Fever gets. Caitlin Clark was back at practice today.
The moment Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court in full Indiana Fever practice gear, it felt like the entire conversation around the team shifted.
We got Caitlin Clark sitting right here, man, after I think it was a tough shot by Aaliyah Boston and nothing was called. Let's take a look at this, man. Look at Caitlin Clark jumping like crazy.
She wasn't sitting in the stands or wearing a hoodie on the bench. She was suited up, walking, moving, standing with her teammates. For fans, that was all it took.
Starting guard Caitlin Clark would be out indefinitely. No, they didn't say it that way officially. There is no timetable available for her return, the team said in a statement.
Hope surged instantly. The visual alone was powerful. Caitlin, fully engaged, seemingly in rhythm with the team again. For someone who's been labeled out indefinitely, this appearance was nothing short of headline making.
Caitlin Clark is in gear. She is in gear at practice. Lads, that is super duper important. That is a big sign when it comes to Caitlin Clark.
But while the visual told one story, the official update told another. The Fever made it clear. Caitlin Clark has not been cleared to return to game action. There is still no confirmed timeline.
But it's hard to say that because we know the fans want her there and they want autographs and stuff like that. And she wants to make up for not actually being able to play.
She remains in recovery from a groin injury that has kept her sidelined and out of the lineup. According to sources close to the team, she's continuing her rehab under close supervision from both Fever staff and independent medical specialists. This wasn't a comeback. It was a step, a signal, one that shows she's still working, still connected, still determined. That matters more than people might realize.
Do I think Caitlin Clark should take it as handy as possible? Of course. Take it as handy as possible. Go as slow as possible. Go at whatever speed you feel comfortable at, Caitlin. Take as much time as you need.
They didn't say it that way officially. There is no timetable available for her return, the team said in a statement.
This isn't just about shooting drills or light movement. It's about presence. It's about leadership. Even while injured, Caitlin has stayed involved. She's been vocal during games, animated on the sideline, and completely plugged into her team's chemistry.
Scott Agnes, the Fever gained clarity on Caitlin Clark's status. Move forward without her in the interim. He wrote an article, so I went to the article to check this out. I gotta tell you, it's concerning.
Now, being back at practice, even in a limited way, reinforces the influence she still has. Teammates respond to her, fans rally around her, coaches can't ignore her impact, even if she's not putting up points.
Clark will return, will continue working with the Fever medical team on her recovery and rehabilitation with the priority for health and long-term health and well-being.
What makes this all so significant is the mental edge it gives the team. The Fever have been hanging around playoff territory, trying to stay afloat in a tough stretch of the season. Seeing their star player back on the court, even just for practice, gives them belief. And for a young, developing team, belief is everything.
As far as her getting back from the injury, I think that's the best coming back for this season. Now, the actual best that I think she might need to do is just wait it out. Let's just look forward to 2026.
Even if Caitlin isn't suiting up tomorrow, her presence shifts the tone in the gym. It changes how opponents prepare. It energizes the locker room. It gives the fan base a reason to keep showing up and buying in.
We got Caitlin Clark sitting right here, man, after I think it was a tough shot by Aaliyah Boston and nothing was called. Let's take a look at this, man. Look at Caitlin Clark jumping like crazy.
Of course, questions remain. How far along is she really? Is this just a light warm-up phase, or is she beginning the real ramp-up process toward a return in August? The lack of official clarity has led to a lot of speculation.
Go at whatever speed you feel comfortable at, Caitlin. Take as much time as you need.
And the team isn't saying much beyond, we're prioritizing her long-term health. But what fans can see is clear. She's moving.
The Fever gained clarity on Caitlin Clark's status. Move forward without her in the interim.
She's not in street clothes. She's on the floor. And that matters. For Caitlin, this is more than rehab. It's a statement. It says she's not stepping away from the fight.
It's weird that Stephanie White did the whole we ain't got to worry about her practicing or not practicing, and then boom, she's out there in practice clothes.
She's not checking out of the season. She's still locked in, still focused, still part of every rep, every moment, every game plan.
This is the video that a lot of people have talked about earlier because Caitlin Clark is in the video. She's right here.
Whether she returns next week, next month, or not until next year, one thing is certain. Caitlin Clark is showing the world she's not just a player recovering from injury. She's a leader who refuses to disappear.
There's no more daily speculation. They can now have clarity. They now have clarity. Don't expect Caitlin Clark back until further notice.
Even without stepping onto the court for a single game, Caitlin Clark's presence in practice is already creating a ripple effect throughout the Indiana Fever organization. The moment she reappeared in team gear, the entire mood inside the facility seemed to change. Teammates were more locked in. The energy picked up. There was suddenly life in the room, and that's what makes her so valuable. Not just as a scorer or playmaker, but as the emotional and psychological centerpiece of the team. When Caitlin is around, the Fever feel complete. Even now, as she rehabs from injury, she's still serving as the unofficial floor general.
It's the 26th now. A week is the first. I think maybe like 2.5 weeks from now. So like maybe the 10th of August. I think the WNBA have said her estimated return date is the 12th of August. I think that's probably a fair estimate. That is probably a fair estimate. So I'm just going to look through the Indiana Fever's their schedule right now.
You see it in the way she communicates during drills, the way she huddles with players during timeouts, and the way she reacts to each play from the sidelines. Her voice carries authority, and her competitive fire is infectious. That kind of leadership doesn't fade just because she's temporarily out of uniform. And for a team like the Fever, young, still learning how to win consistently, having that kind of presence is crucial. They're not a championship team yet. They're building. And having Caitlin physically back in the practice environment reminds every player on the roster what the standard is. She elevates expectations. She challenges teammates. Even when she's not on the stat sheet, she's raising the bar.
Caitlin Clark was back at practice today. Workout attire. Now, I don't know how much she participated, but she was there at practice as the Indiana Fever gear up to beat.
There's also a tactical element at play here. Clark's return to practice, even in a light non-contact capacity, gives the coaching staff a valuable opportunity to begin reintegrating her into sets, spacing, and game planning. They've had time during her absence to experiment with different player rotations, like getting new pieces such as Chloe Beebe acclimated to the system. But now with Clark back in the mix, even partially, it allows them to test what works best around her. That's huge, because when she does return to games, the margin for error will be razor thin, and the team needs to be ready to perform with her at full speed. Patience.
I plan on putting hands and feet and beating down the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league.
From a marketing and media perspective, Caitlin's presence is just as powerful. Let's be real. Fans come to see her. Even when she's in street clothes, attendance is high. But now that she's back in practice gear, there's real anticipation building again. Every practice clip, every courtside photo, it fuels excitement. And for a franchise trying to grow its identity in a crowded league, that visibility is priceless. Then there's the pressure she takes off everyone else.
Now, what is the update on her injury? We really don't know nothing. No news is coming out confirming exactly a time frame for how long Caitlin Clark is going to be out. No doctors had even said anything. But as of right now, only positive note we got is strictly from Scott Agnes, Fieldhouse Files. That is him going to the Indiana Fever practice.
When she's around, even if she's not playing, she absorbs the spotlight. That allows younger players to develop without the full weight of the media lens on them. It gives the coaching staff breathing room to make adjustments without the constant chatter about who's carrying the team. With Caitlin on the floor, even just in practice, the entire atmosphere is more focused, more balanced, more cohesive.
I mean, surely she's not coming back for the Sky game. There was a report out there from ESPN that she's coming back August 12th. The only problem with that is that's related to absolutely nothing. There's no information around them posting that.
And don't underestimate what this means for Clark personally. For someone as competitive as she is, being separated from the game is mentally exhausting. Just being able to get back into drills, shoot with her teammates, and be physically part of the group again isn't just helpful for the team. It's healing for her. She thrives on rhythm, on structure, on being in the fight.
Her injury is bad, but it might not be as bad as we think because she's stressing out in practice. The other day when they played, we seen her jumping up and down. And I'm just here to tell you, Caitlin Clark return could be back sooner than later.
This return to practice helps her stay sharp and stay connected. In every possible way, emotional, strategic, and cultural, Caitlin Clark's presence is a game changer for the Fever. She might still be listed as injured, but her influence is full strength. And as the season inches toward its final stretch, that influence could end up being the difference between a fade-out and a late playoff push.
I would have thought Caitlin Clark was Stephanie White out there, the way she was going crazy on that bench. I mean, even Stephanie White was going crazy over some of the no calls.
While Caitlin Clark's return to practice brought a surge of excitement, the truth is far more complicated. Her injury, described as a groin strain, has been lingering longer than most expected.
Everybody wants her to return as soon as possible, but that must come only when Caitlin Clark's body has healed and she feels both comfortable and confident. This is a new experience for her, dealing with multiple injuries and missing extended time.
Some close to the situation believe it's not just one issue, but a mix of physical strain and overuse, possibly stemming from the nonstop grind of her senior college season straight into the pros. Whatever the exact details are, one thing is clear. The Indiana Fever and their medical staff are being extremely cautious, and for good reason. There's still no official return date. The organization has emphasized a focus on long-term health, not rushing her back for short-term gain. But that hasn't stopped fans and analysts from circling potential comeback windows. Two key dates being tossed around are August 10th and August 12th.
This is the video that a lot of people have talked about earlier because Caitlin Clark is in the video. She's right here, all right, wearing some practice clothes. Right there. That's her. Michaela Timpson shot a half-court shot. There's Chloe Bibby right there.
Games against teams like the Sky and Wings, which could play a major role in the Fever's playoff hopes. Those matchups are just far enough away to give her a possible ramp-up period for conditioning and court readiness, but close enough to feel within reach. That said, the conversation isn't just about timelines. It's become a debate, one growing louder with each passing game. Some believe the smartest move is to let her sit the rest of the season. They argue it's simply not worth risking further injury for a late playoff push, especially considering how much she means to the long-term future of the Fever and the WNBA as a whole. For this group, the idea is simple: protect the investment, play the long game, and return only when 100% ready.
Well, you and I know that Fever guard Caitlin Clark is known for her incredible passing skills on the basketball court. But today, the biggest superstar in the WNBA had her most important assist this season, helping IPS students have a winning school year. The Caitlin Clark effect has created huge crowds everywhere the Fever play.
On the flip side, there's a strong camp of fans and voices in the media who believe Clark will try to come back as soon as she feels even remotely capable. And knowing her mentality, they might be right. She's a fierce competitor. Sitting still is not in her DNA. Even now on the sideline, she's fully animated, cheering, yelling, reacting to every play like she's still running the point. Every clip of her jumping in excitement or shouting instructions is evidence that she's itching to be back. The danger, of course, is that desire might push her into action before her body's ready. And that raises the pressure on the Fever's coaching and medical staff.
She's been out there, you know? And I understand part of it was All-Star Weekend, this, that, and the other, but you get my point. This is interesting. All right. Out until further notice? Okay, that does sound a lot like out indefinitely.
They have to balance Caitlin's relentless drive with medical reality. She may want to play, but it's their responsibility to say no if the risk is too high. This isn't just about the season, it's about the next decade. And while fans would love to see her lead a dramatic playoff run, the cost of rushing could be enormous. There's also frustration brewing among supporters who feel left in the dark. The team hasn't shared many specifics, and with Clark being the league's most talked about player, that silence only adds to the tension. People want updates, they want clarity, and most of all, they want to know whether to hold on to hope or start preparing for her absence the rest of the way.
Excellent news for the Indiana Fever.
Caitlin Clark showing back up at practice.
Caitlin Clark had a huge leap in her possible return to the basketball court.
Caitlin Clark was back at practice.
Look at Caitlin Clark jumping like crazy. Caitlin, you have to sit down, man.
Still, the bigger picture looms large. Caitlin Clark's value isn't just in her play, it's in her influence. The WNBA is riding a wave of attention largely because of her. She boosts ratings, sells out arenas, and drives national conversation. Her return would inject instant momentum, not just for Indiana, but for the league overall. That's why every moment she spends in practice gear matters. That's why every update, every rumor, every clip goes viral. So what happens next? That depends on how her body responds, how patient the team is willing to be, and how hard Caitlin pushes to return. But one thing is certain, whether she's playing, practicing, or pacing the sideline, Caitlin Clark continues to be the center of everything. And whatever decision is made in the coming days, it's going to shape not just the Fever's season, but the future of the WNBA itself.
Sid did a great job. I was so proud of her getting up on that stage. It was a big venue. It was a large venue, and I don't know anything about comedy, but I know that when you play in environments that are large and sometimes seem like sterile, it's much more difficult than environments that are tight and loud. So I'm really proud of Sid.
Caitlin Clark doesn't need to be in the starting lineup to make her presence felt. She's proving that every time she steps into the gym. Her return to practice, even while still injured, speaks volumes about who she is as a competitor, a teammate, and a leader. She's not checking out. She's not fading into the background. She's staying close, staying engaged, and staying ready. But now all eyes are on what happens next. Will the Fever ease her back for one final playoff push, or will they hold her out and protect the long-term future she's destined to shape? Either way, her story isn't slowing down. It's just entering a new chapter. And whether she's running plays or simply showing up to inspire her team, Caitlin Clark remains the driving force behind Indiana's momentum and the heartbeat of the WNBA. If you believe in her, if you support her comeback, and if you know she's far from finished, drop a 100% in the comments and let the world know you're riding with Caitlin Clark no matter what.